Hello everyone, welcome back to the shed. So we're going to do a bit of painting today. Like in the last video I was saying, the plan was this week to get a couple of parts for the rear assembly painted. I have everything gathered here now that I need, so we're going to get through a bit of that today. First of all, to anyone who's returning after watching the last video, thanks a million. It got a great response. It got way more views than I was expecting, and got a nice couple of subscribers out of it, which is great. Yeah, no, the last video went great. It was nice to have people, I suppose, appreciating what I was after putting out there, which is all, you know, nice. It's a nice thing to hear. So the plan for this evening, I have a couple of parts hanging up over here. We'll see them now in a second. I have the GT rear axle hanging up. I have a rear gearbox mount, or sorry, engine mount. I also have a fuel tank and a strut brace. So the plan is everything is going gloss black. I picked up this paint from an auto factory just in the road for myself. Not sure about dilution rates for that. He kind of just told me chance it and see how it gets through the gun, and it might need a small bit of dilution with tinners. Usually there's kind of a description on the bottle as to what to actually tin it down to or reduce it down to, but this doesn't have it. So he said you could be fine doing it neat, but it might need a small bit, just see how it goes. So we're kind of just trialing it and seeing how we go. The fuel tank is going to go a slightly different route. So like the underneath of the car is black, all of the running gear is going to be black. So just to kind of change up the colour scheme under the car, the fuel tank is going silver. And I have the Raptor liner, I have the tintable kit, and I picked up some silver paint as well to mix into that. So the anti-roll bar and the anti-roll bar and the torsion bar for the rear are silver, so I think that might complement the fuel tank as well as the heat shields for the exhaust. It'll kind of just change up the colour scheme, and it'll also blend in with the colours that I have on the engine itself. So I'm going to start mixing paint. I have the compressor filled, I have the gun and that ready to go, and I have it set to 25 psi as per the instructions on the can there. So yeah, I'll probably put it into a bit of a sped up reel where I'm mixing, and we'll start painting and we'll see how we go. I'm not sure I'll get everything done tonight. I've not really painted a huge amount of stuff, so I don't know how long this is going to take me, but yeah, we'll record it and we'll see how we go. I'd imagine I'll probably get everything done tonight, but we'll see what happens. The first coat of paint is on the rear axle, and that everything that's going black is painted now. I ran into an issue nearly straight away when I was painting. Was when I loaded the gun with paint and started walking over, the nozzle on the top of the gun had black paint coming out of it, which I hadn't seen that on the gun before. So I checked the tightness of the nozzle and it seemed tight. If I just show you this here, so at the top of the gun, the paint was coming out right here, even without the trigger being pulled. Not really sure what's causing that. Like, I'm not a painter, I'm just chancing it really. I have a second gun here that I'm going to take and probably use. It's a bit smaller, but it should do the trick. Yeah, so we'll see what this other gun makes some kind of an improvement, and if it doesn't, I have no idea what's going on. But the paint laid down fine, it's all on it grand, but we'll just see, can we maybe not make as much of a mess as we did the first time with this new gun. Second coat of paint is on. I didn't have any joy with the spare gun that I had, because the fitting to put it to the airline is actually smaller than what I actually need, and I didn't have, I have a spare fitting there, but it's not the right size, so I had no joy with that. So I just had to use the gun, the original gun, and I just held it back a small bit to stop the flow of paint out. Again, it's painting fine, it's just there's a couple of drips of black paint on the floor. So if anyone knows like what's the cause of that, I don't know what it is. It was a cheap gun. That's probably an awful lot to do with it. It's painted a couple of bits now. That might just be the issue with it. But again, the paint looks fine. I'm well happy with how it's all looking there now. I have a heater on the parts. I'm going to leave it there for a small while, and I might come back and do a third and final coat on it. What I'm going to start doing now is mixing up the tintable raptor liner for the fuel tank. So the kit, open the kit, it comes with a bottle, it comes with the hardener, and then you need to add solvent based tint, whatever colour you want. So I went with silver, so this is what comes in the kit. And you also need the raptor liner gun to spray out this coating, which I have here. This is actually belonging to an 8mm Billy Power. I'm going to give you the gun back, I promise. So what it tells me to do is, it says to add the 237ml of hardener into the raptor liner bottle, and also add 70ml of the base coat that we're using, so this one. So I'll measure that out now in a cup, I'll get it mixed up, and I'll give it a shake, and then we can start laying down a couple of coats on the fuel tank. The raptor liner kind of gives it a wrinkled finish. It's the same kit as I used the black raptor liner kit for underneath the car. So this is just a tintable one to have it any colour you want. It leaves a nice texture to the paint as well, which is what the fuel tank came with standard anyway. It kind of comes with a wrinkled coat. So yeah, we'll start mixing up that now, and we'll start spraying it down. Okay, so I'm finished up painting. All of the black parts got 3 coats of the paint. I'm well happy with how all that turned out. I forgot about 2 hubs for the rear axle that I had left over on the shelves, so I pulled them out and I painted them. They're not recorded, but they're done there now. Yeah, everything sprayed out really nice. Bar that one issue with the gun, it went fairly well. The fuel tank with the Raptor liner, I suppose the only problem I had with that is the tank is after coming out a shade darker than what I would have wanted. Like it's a fair bit darker than the bars, than the anti-roll bar and stuff that I have there. I'm not sure why the colour came out so dark. Like it's a real kind of bright poppy silver, but it is what it is now. It's painted. I'll see maybe tomorrow when I come back. I'll see how it cures, and it might cure a bit brighter. I don't really think it will, but we'll let it set and see. Worst case scenario is I'll pop a bit of the silver paint straight into the gun and put that out over the top of it just to brighten it up a small bit. I still think even the way it is, it'll probably look fine, but it's just me being particular with how the other stuff will look in the rear assembly. But yeah, I'm fairly happy with it. Like for just an idiot in the shade who doesn't really know what he's doing, I think the parts come out fine. I'm looking forward to bolting everything back together with the nice new hardware once we get it, and getting everything back onto the car. But yeah, overall, so super happy about it. I'll pop up a couple of pictures at the end of the video of how the bits are looking. So yeah, so we're waiting on, I have Powerflex axle bushings. They should have been delivered today, but there was no sign of them. But when they come and when the hardware come, the next video will be bolting everything together and possibly putting it back on underneath the car, and maybe repainting the fuel tank. We'll see how it cures. So yeah, that's it. Thanks again to everyone that supported the last couple of videos. I said at the start, but it got far more views than I was expecting. It's nice to see that people are interested in what I'm doing here. So yeah, thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.